Hello and welcome to Sports Talk. Hugh Headley, joined by Jim Claggett. Jim, I'm going to get right into things right now. The Grey Cup is over. Now, we both are weeping, but the announcement came out that the Bombers fired their offensive coordinator. What do you think? Good move, bad move, too soon? What do you think?
I think it's the right move, and the reason being is that they did want to be more aggressive on offense, and they weren't getting that from Jamie Barisi. It was a very vanilla sort of offense that they were throwing out in the field. They've got a defense. Special teams still need some work, but offense is where they need to focus their efforts, and that's the start.
Where are you basing that? And I'm sorry to all you Stamps fans, because there was also a big announcement made in Toronto, which may or may not mean that Henry Burris is going there. But I'm going to focus here on this because we're just a little fresh off the Grey Cup. Why is this a good move? I mean, the Bombers had a fledgling offense. Is it the talent?
No, I don't think it's the talent at all.
He's not pushing them.
No, I look at what they did on defense. They brought in Tim Burke and just fired up that defense. Very aggressive, ultra aggressive. They don't have that same aggressiveness on offense, although Chris Garrett showed that the way he ran. But they were predictable, you know, run on first down, pass on second down, run on first down. They were the worst team in the league. It's 2 and out, 2 and out, 2 and out. So this is the way it starts. I don't think it's the talent. The talent's there. They need somebody to coordinate that talent, and that's what this move means.
This also may mean that there's a possible new quarterback coming to town. I don't know. Henry Burris might be in Winnipeg instead of Toronto based on that move there. So I'm going to move on to hockey now, though. We can get into this and talk all day. Let's get into hockey. A quarter of the way into the season, and the NHL. What has been the biggest surprise for you quarter of the way in?
The biggest surprise, you know, I don't think there's been a huge surprise other than the Oilers right now. I really like the way they started. They've built that team from the draft. That's how you do it. And that's how the Islanders did it when they got their dynasty. And I think I like what they've done. That maybe is somewhat of a surprise. Calgary Flames, I'm left scratching my head.
So did you think they would do better? I didn't really think that.
No, I didn't, but I didn't think they would do as bad.
Well, it's early. They can still run off a 3-game win streak.
They got to get rid of. They've got to make a move and get some young blood in there, and it starts with the captain.
Okay, there's been a lot of changes with coaching. Carolina made a coaching change. Washington made a coaching change. Will the trends continue for those teams? Will they continue to lose, or will these coaching changes change things around and these teams will start winning?
Ooh, you know, Washington, they're a puzzle.
So do you think
there's a load of talent in that?
Do you think there's more wrong in Washington than we know of? Like, was it not just Boudreau? Is there something wrong with maybe Ovechkin being the captain? He's the guy in charge. Maybe he's the prima donna type of captain. It's like, oh, me.
You know, it's quite possible that he is that, and that could be he could be the cancer in the dressing room kind of thing. I just think they weren't going to play for Boudreau, no matter what. I think that.
Is it the swearing?
You know what? I sure hope not, because that's a professional hockey team. I'm guessing it isn't.
Hurt his feelings. You've got a lot of guys that don't speak English, and all they hear is those bombs coming at them. It hurts. It hurts.
You know, the Riders fired Greg Marshall because those players weren't going to play for him. They wanted the touchy-feely, friendly coach with Coach Miller. Who knows what they're going to get now? But they won't get Boudreau, and Boudreau was a taskmaster, so he expected a lot from his guys, and they weren't delivering, so maybe this will move.
Yeah, I'm just wondering which team is going to go off in the NHL. I mean, I'm scared. I hate to say this, but I think the team that's going to go off and just kind of leave everybody behind is the Pittsburgh Penguins, and I think they're going to be the team that is the Vancouver Canucks, if you will, of last year. The difference is that the Canucks suck and cannot find a way to win the big games. They don't have the heart. If you had heart, maybe you would, you know, even though you win the Hart Trophy, I don't know how they do that. I'm babbling here. Joe Kapp, Angelo Mosca. This was on YouTube. Big fight. Yeah. Who's right? Who's wrong in this situation? It happened, what, in 1963 or something like that?
Yeah. I think Joe Kapp's got to take ownership of this because he came out with the flowers and put it in Mosca's face. Mosca, I mean, he didn't care. That was football. That's how they played back then. It was like, suck it up, princess, and let's move on. So I got to blame Joe Kapp. And they're both 73. But Mosca, you know, he's crippled. He's got the cane. Yeah, I don't know, Joe. That might be the only way you're ever going to get Angelo Mosca.
Well, you know, it's yes, and I'm going to go on Mosca's side. You know, hey, Joe Kapp, why don't you go after Mosca 20 years ago when he was wrestling? Maybe 30 years ago when he was doing a little bit of wrestling. Why don't you go after him then? How much manhood do you have to do it now? He's got a cane. Now I'll get him. Like, come on, man. That's ridiculous. He took a swipe at me. He has a cane.
I agree 100%.
Man, ridiculous. All right, quickly with basketball. Basketball is more or less back. I can't say it's back for sure, but you know, with all intents and purposes, they've reformed the union, and they're gonna go at this on December 8th or something like that. I'm told. Now they're talking trade. Dwight Howard, the biggest center that there is, not necessarily in height, but in talent.
Oh yeah.
Do you think that it would be a good move for him to go to the New Jersey Nets? New Jersey Nets have been trying to build, and they got Deron Williams, young guard. Is this a good move
for Dwight Howard?
Yeah, he's been in Orlando his whole career.
I think he'll be back in a spotlight in somewhat of a media center. I know New York is right there. New Jersey's right beside them. For the Nets, hey, you just solidified your team right up the middle. So
you think that the what is left in Orlando is a dying? Yeah, they're done.
Yeah, if they lose Dwight Howard, they're going to have to draft really well to fill that. That's a huge pair of shoes, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, you don't fill that. Dwight Howard is the man. All right, well, that's going to do it for this edition of Sports Talk. We'll see you next time.